Hello and welcome to Shite Talk, an Irish history podcast slash Irish mythology podcast. It's more myth episodes. People like the ones we did over the summer. We got some nice feedback from them. So Jason went and researched the wooing of Étaín, which turned into 3 regular parts and 1 bonus part for the Patreon, which is up there now, or it should be because I'm going to do it in about 2 seconds. But yeah, we'll put the rest of this story up during the week, and you can check out the bonus bit on the Patreon. The link for that is in the description, and we'll be back with more history stuff next month. Also, happy Halloween. Well done. Fair play to you.
Gather around now, you're in for a story. Old tales of lore, all in search of a glory. The history and mystery of lads, lasses and all. Discoveries and voyages, the rise and the fall. Follow me now as we go back in time. We trace the steps of Irish lineage to find. Joseph from Carlow and Catherine from Dawn. Guide you through the ways of Shite.
Look at us go.
That's the key to organising a party. Message everyone individually before you set up the group chat.
Oh, just to see if they're interested, or
Yeah, only set up the group chat with people who've already said they'll go.
that is.
If you set up a group chat and the first 7 responses are, "Oh, sorry, I can't make it," forget about
People
it.
are
Call
already
it
out.
off.
Yeah, you're
even the
dead
people
right.
that do go, they're going because you're a charity case.
I feel like this is a point. Is this because I had to cancel the bachelor party I was planning?
Yeah, you.
I specifically know. I wish you'd have given me all of this knowledge in advance.
I've been saying this for ages.
Not to me.
I did. Well, maybe not. That's true. You never come to my seminars. Every morning I hold a seminar in the kitchen.
I thought they were called seminars.
You message each person individually, get a response, then the group chat. The group chat
That's
is
true.
because people are weak-minded. If they
Yeah.
start seeing no's, they'll be like, you know what, I think I'm busy as well. You got to trick them into friendships. I sat beside an old man on a bus this morning, and he gave me a ticket for Rounders. So now we have to sign up to play Rounders in St. Kevin's.
An old man's Rounders League.
He was 1,000 years old, and he got on the bus here, and he dropped a ticket when he was trying to, just how old men drop stuff on the ground when they're trying to do anything.
When
You're
they're
like,
trying, when they're trying to start conversations with young men.
Yeah, well, I ended up. He was like, "Sit down here beside me," and we chat. Well, he talked at me for half an hour because the bus was stuck in traffic. Because I was like, "Oh, Rounders." It's it's one of Ireland's sports. It's not as popular as the other ones, but it's interesting. And I was like, "I know all about it." And he was like, "Well, come here and let me tell you all about it." So he gave me his son's number. He said his son's very busy, but he'll sort us out. And the adults, Rounders.
He just wanted to get that in instantly. He's like, my
Yeah.
son will sort you out. Now, he's
Yeah,
a busy
yeah.
man.
He was.
You're going to really have to stay on him. I can tell you're going to because you really want to play Rounders.
Yeah,
I can tell.
of course. So you're a hungry man now. He's probably not going to email you back right away.
I tell about. I talk to about 50 people a day about Rounders. And I've been in this for about 20 years. You're the first person who's actually engaged me.
He dropped the Rounders card, and I was like, "Oh, the Rounders, I know about that." And then it was all, that was all he needed. So now we're in. We're signed up for the adult Rounders.
Was he just a
League.
big fan of that Edward Norton film?
Maybe, yeah. But
That is Edward Norton, or is it Matt Damon? I'm going to say Edward Norton.
I don't know. But at what point in your life do you just start adding in, when you're telling an anecdote, you just add in all the most unnecessary details? He was telling me he was the chairman of the Rounders League. It's like, I used to be in charge of it, but then there was big trouble back in 2005. The planning permission, they wanted to build apartment blocks on it, and they all got all very violent. I had to step away from it. I was like, how is this relevant to, that was over a decade and a half ago, and I don't need to, and you're still hanging on to it? I just want to play Rounders with your son, all right?
He's probably not over it yet.
He's not, clearly.
It's putting them Rounders to bend.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I don't know any other Rounders references. The bases are loaded. He was pretty drunk.
Yeah.
Nah. just weaving in between, just throwing in some tragedy that obviously really affected him 15 years ago.
That's what did I tell the story when I went to the bus stop the other week when I was getting my?
Did you tell the bus stop the story?
Did I tell the bus stop? It's been a long week for us.
That's true.
Anyone who's been following the online stuff, we've been busy in the club. We've Mark Normand is a young travelling to Irish, not Irish, New Orleans comic.
Yeah.
From New York. He might make it someday. He seems he got something going.
Yeah. I was trying to name drop him earlier on because I had two young New York people on the tour. I was like, oh, we had Mark Norman in there the other night, and they were like, I don't even know the big comics. Because she was like, I wouldn't really follow comedy, but he follows comedy. He was like, I know like the big names, like it's probably the top 10.
Yeah.
You're in New York.
It's insane. But anyway,
listen,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. What'd you say to a bus stop?
I told I had to stop into a bus stop to drop in just for a minute.
You singing a song to me now? What's happening?
I was walking in the rain.
Yeah.
An old man stopped, and I was like, it was raining, so I was like, I'll run and I'll get into this bus stop and it'll be fine. And I was getting a bit wet, but I made it just in time to get away from the rain. But then there was one old man at the bus stop, and then he looked at me, and he had a woolen hat on.
Yeah.
And he had 3 badges on it. And he just said, Kevin Barry, Michael Collins, Bobby Sands. You have to know your history.
I thought it was like, fuck, marry, kill.
Well, if you are interested. Probably Big Mick.
Yeah.
Maybe the marriage type.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Bobby Sands, the sexy rock star. By the end, he's looking a bit like Iggy Pop. That's always stayed in fashion.
Yeah.
Maybe. Kevin Barry. You know what? He was the youngest to die, so probably very sexually inexperienced.
Yeah.
So I'd choose him.
It's probably,
so I'd write him.
It's probably the best.
I'd disappoint him the least.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. And so what? You were stuck in a bus stop?
It was lashing rain then, and his
badges had
his badges just had the picture of each man there, and as he was pointing to them, and in fairness to him, he didn't get them wrong. He got the order correct.
Okay.
Then I was like, well, now I'm just here, and he would have from his perspective, all he saw was a lad running towards the bus stop, getting there a little out of breath, away from the rain, screams those 3 names at me.
Yeah.
And then I just look at him for a second and then just walk out into the rain in the other direction.
Yeah.
I think I talked to him for a second and he was like, where are you from? And I was like, Carlo. He said, Kevin Barry was from Carlo. He was the youngest man to be executed in that. And I was like, I can't. I just have to. And he was just yelling at me as I walked into the rain, getting all my shit soaked. I was like, it was worth it. I can't.
You got to know your history.
You got to know your history. And I did. And that's why I didn't.
Give him a podcast card. You should get him on as a guest.
I would, even if he was willing to pay for the Patreon, I wouldn't have him.
No. What an interesting part of history. That's really cherry picking some events that happened. That's great.
See, I didn't have it in me. You talked to that man for like half an hour.
Yeah, but the bus stopped moving for some reason.
I chose a chest infection over just...
Yeah. A young man called Mark Norman had a support act, Doug Key, and he opened a set in Vicar Street. Like, hey, you Irish, you love telling stories. You just don't like listening to our stories. You guys will tell the story, and then I'll be like, something similar happened to me. And you're like, yeah, shut the fuck up. Here's another story.
No, we're not saying that's definitely about us.
It was almost very likely.
He had only been in the country one day, and he'd spent that day drinking with us that night.
And I told a story, and then you tried to tell a similar story, and I just was the whole time like, man, shut up. I don't know.
Old men bus stop stories. And if you have any old bus men...
If you have any old bun musk men. I remember the old bun musk men. They killed my mother.
It's been a good few days.
Yeah.
There's been pints.
There has ups and downs.
But we're back now, and we're doing... Oh, God, we have lots planned.
God, yeah. We have a good guest coming in tomorrow.
We've got guests. We've got cowboy specials lined up. We've
all happening.
It's actually... And it's not like the last 4 times you said it's all happening. Thank you for sticking around and fucking dealing with us.
It's been a long summer where we were been busy boys trying to be famous comedians, and
now that hasn't worked out, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've got a story. Do you remember Dagda?
God, no.
He's God, yeah, kind of. Yeah. So he's like the Irish Odin or Zeus or whatever.
Right.
He's of the Tua de Dana.
Yeah.
The Dana. Big, muscly, bearded, handsome fella.
Did he say Dana or Danon? Alright, Didi. I'm gonna have to stay up and watch this now. Alright, so he's the king of the
king of
gods.
Yeah, the king of the Irish gods, the mythological people back in the day.
Yeah.
Now, people think Dagda, they think manliness, agriculture, strength, magic, druid kind of stuff.
Who are you talking about? Vladimir Putin?
I don't know, because they also thought wisdom.
Must be Donald Trump.
But he's
Great political satire from 2019.
He's not your typical brute. He's a smart man, a sympathetic man too. Men want to be him. Women want their men to stop thinking about Dagda and finally put up the shelves. He's been seen as a bit of a father figure. Also fertility, hence the father figure bit. Because it'll come up now in a bit, so I'll just tell you that he can also control life, death, weather, crops, time, and the seasons.
That is pretty much everything that a man in the times that this story is set in could think of.
Yeah, because it's...
What else is there? Life, death, time, the weather, the seasons, crops.
He could have a podcast.
Yeah.
He wasn't too busy. He had nothing else on.
When he could control putting these fucking shelves up.
But he's got this magic staff that kills people on one end of it, up to 9 men at once.
Has a magic staff that kills people. Maybe you are talking about Vladimir Putin. The KGB. Staff means two things. I made the same joke a couple of weeks ago, but I thought you'd forgotten.
No. Did I laugh at the last time?
Yeah, maybe. After I edited it, you did. Yeah.
On the other end of this staff, this stick, it breathes life.
Okay.
So on one end, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So one end can kill up to 9 men at once. On the other one, breathes life.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be getting that side wrong.
No, you would have to label it.
It's like a drunken... You ever light a cigarette backwards when you're drunk?
Yeah.
And you kill 9 lads.
Yeah, instead of you getting smoke cancer. They all get lung cancer. That's... Yeah. What? Yeah, there seems to be a limitation of like 9 on a lot of these stories.
Because it's a multiple of 3, which we talked before, but 7 was a big one. But when you think about it, 21 is a multiple of 7 and 3.
Blackjack.
And 2 9s and a 3.
So he's got a staff, and if he points it one way, he kills 9 men. If he points it the other way, he breathes life. Okay.
Yeah. Now, he's got a cloak.
All right.
A cauldron, which never runs dry. That's called Cor Antic. A magic harp, Uthna, which controls men's emotions.
I know a magic harp that controls my emotions. It comes in liquid form, and it never runs out either.
A little less harp, emotions not too bad.
Yeah.
A little more harp. All of a sudden, an Irish night out. And now he also, do you know Loch Ness?
Yeah. Which one? Oh, is he the one? No, because I thought the Loch Ness was when someone threw the Isle of Man at one of them giants.
That was from the Fionn McCool episode. Yeah. No, so this is Loch Ness named after him.
Oh.
Yeah. Because he's a horse of a man.
Didn't they held a funeral for Loch Ness the other day? Did you see that?
No.
Yeah. Like during the week. Because it's covered in algae or something. I don't know.
Is it going to die?
No.
The algae is dead, but
I just saw a clip of like they were just doing a funeral march but holding a coffin, and there was loads of reporters there. So this seems very dramatic.
There are 10,000 homeless on the street.
Yeah, but that's a stupid response. That's what every idiot says to everything.
No, but when you do see what a birthday for a funeral for a lake.
Yeah, the lake's dead.
How?
What do you mean how?
It's not dead.
It is dead.
It's not the Dead Sea.
I didn't understand, really.
Whatever it is, that's stupid. We're in a recession.
But I do like when my media response says, like, that's a bit dramatic, isn't it? But over the top funeral procession, the world is on fire. Like, it is fucked.
Yeah.
Like, there is, like...
I suppose you did right.
Massive storms and people drowning. You're like, oh, for a bit of fucking song and dance over here. Why can't you just die in peace? Screaming like the rest of us. Why'd you have to ruin the snooker? All right, what did the Crucible ever do to you?
How did they bury the lake though?
Sea burial.
Setting fire.
They just
pushed out.
Pushed it out to sea.
But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know enough details about that to.
Well, I'll tell you. I think that's the last time Loch Ness comes up. I don't think the rest of these stories. Yeah. But more importantly than that, we'll talk a little bit about his wife, the Morrigan.
Yeah,
that stands for like crow or nightmare.
Okay.
Or it could be great, the great crow or the great nightmare.
The great nightmare. Yeah.
But Dagda means good god or great god.
Right.
Yeah, goddess of battle. She was.
Yeah.
She forces death, or being around is a precursor to like it isn't like an early form of the banshee.
Okay.
Yes, a shapeshifter. One minute she's a lovely woman, the next a raging bitch. She's known.
Did Dagda write this?
No, they stayed together.
Okay.
Well, actually, we'll get into that. That's going to be a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what these 4 stories are about.
Okay.
But she's known as the envious wife.
Right.
Right. They have a bunch of kids together. Bridget, Aid, all the big names. And they have their own stories that'll come up in the
The rest.
There's so many, but they're not too important. Bits and pieces will come up.
Yeah.
I eventually am going to do a Fomorian episode and a Cuchulainn episode, so I'll leave those bits for that.
Great.
Yeah. Well, there was this lad called Elkmar.
Right.
Right. He's the steward, the right hand man of Dagda. Right.
Okay.
Now, over time, Elkmar's missus, Bone, started to see Dagda and thought, nice.
The envious wife isn't going to like this.
Yeah. Now, Bone, the River Boyne,
Okay.
because she's so wet, he wanted to get deep into her banks.
Okay.
Yeah, you know that bend in the river?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
It's perfectly normal. It happens to about 20% of men, and they still go on to have, or rivers, and they still go on to have very fulfilling sex lives.
Yeah.
He copped on to this, though.
Okay.
So to make sure the coast was clear, he sent Elkmar off on an errand for the upcoming Imbolc / spring festival.
Yeah. This spring festival. Yeah.
Yeah, so he sends him off on an errand to go get me something.
Get glass hammer.
Condoms.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know what? Plan B. Get me some Plan B. So he goes off and Dagda. You know what happens.
Is has sex with the river. Okay.
Yeah. But being sound,
Yeah.
Dagda was
So
like...
his wife's not that. He's like, she's insane.
she doesn't trust me.
She doesn't trust me.
me.
She's insane. You know how women are. Raging bitch. Anyway, I need a bit of space from her, so I'm gonna go fuck a river. She's fucking paro, man. She's right, but she doesn't have to be like that.
That's it. Cheating on her with Mother Earth.
Yeah.
That's how can you can't compete. But so
is she a river? What's that? Or no, the river's
she's
just named
after her, yeah.
Right.
Now, Dagda doesn't want poor Elkmar finding out about this. This is his right-hand man. He cares about him. Remember, he said he's sensitive. He's a good guy, right? So he's like, I don't want him finding out.
Yeah.
The best thing to do, because the kid has got to have a target on his back, and then maybe Elkmar will be annoyed at him as well.
I could see that.
So from both sides of it. So what he does is he controls the seasons and the time.
Right. Not to go back and change it.
No. He changes it so that by the
goes back
time
to do it again. Pretty good.
this time he's making Elkmar watch. But no, yeah. But this time, so he changes the seasons, and so he provides enough crops and stuff for Elkmar along the way. So he's not hungry because
Okay.
he's making this 1 day trip last 9 months. So that when he gets back, it's not weird that there's a baby.
Yeah.
Because it takes 9 months to have a baby.
Yeah.
He might find it weird that he's been gone for a day, he's come back and his wife has a kid, then she didn't show signs of she wasn't pregnant this morning.
No.
And now he's back and there's a kid there.
Yeah.
You've stolen that baby.
But there's also like 9 months of life has passed by.
Yes.
Is he going to explain any of that? Alkmaar's mistress is probably knocked up now as well. What the fuck?
But it's, don't be sullying the good man's name. I tell you right now, this
Yeah.
man in the space of these stories is going to have a lot done to him.
Okay, all right. So
And he's-
so he heads off. He experiences 9 months. of travel.
His boss tells him, I need you to do an errand for me.
Yeah.
Go up there, fetch this glass hammer.
Go get a long weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes up there. and 9 months passes.
For him or for the world?
For him.
Okay.
He doesn't, and at no point have I read anything about him questioning, why is this place that's 1 day away from me, or half of a day's ride? I don't know why it's taken me 9 months.
Just stood at a bus there in time to be like, yeah, you told me 10 minutes ago.
Typical.
I feel like I've been here for 9 months. You know what I mean?
But so he goes, yeah. So Dagda rides her,
yeah,
gets her pregnant.
Yeah.
With his
it seems like he went to an awful lot of effort to do the stupidest possible
the worst
solution.
part of
Right.
But I'll say it's not he's got magic jizz.
Yeah, but he's got
that's your Danone right there.
He's fast forwarded. And typical men, no consideration for the postnatal. He's like, was 9 months on the dot. There's the baby. And she's just like passed out on the ground. So what the fuck happened here? Well, she certainly wasn't pregnant. We can rule that out because, as you can remember from yesterday, I hadn't fucked your wife. So, all's in order here.
But so I guess what he does is he's turned he just holds the sun in the sky. I don't really understand.
He holds the sun into the sky.
Or maybe it's he stops the sun so that 9 months goes by. So then when your man gets back, again, no, I don't know why that this would stop him, because he would just get there,
yeah,
and then come back.
Yeah,
but somehow anyway, they're basically. It
doesn't need to make sense.
The internet wasn't around back then.
Yeah.
The men also didn't understand how.
Yeah.
But Elkmar doesn't question any of this.
Why would he?
He just raises that kid on his own.
On his own?
Oh, sorry, with the river boy. But unbeknownst to him,
I'm a single father. It's just me and my wife.
It was, to be honest,
mother of the child.
It was just for the welfare credits.
Yeah.
Just knocking on the door. It was. Is the river boiling in that house? No, she's just dropping. She's just dropping the young lad off.
Yeah.
Now Mac Og,
right,
or Angus.
Yeah.
That's the young kid's name.
Mac Og is just young son.
Yeah, that's what he is.
Right. Okay. That's not a name.
It is.
Okay.
That's how Irish people used to be named.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Angus, he doesn't get raised by those parents.
Sure.
I believe he's raised instead by
television,
by his dad.
Oh, yeah, his real father.
His other son, Meader.
Okay.
Right? Meader's wife, Fumnock.
So it was neither Dagda nor...
Neither Dagda, his right-hand man, or the mother, all of them, forget him.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Until later. But so Meader...
Yeah.
His wife is Fumnock, a witch or a Tua De Dana member.
Right.
Meader's own kids include Manon and Lear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he raises Angus. Angus. And when he's old enough, he's told / he finds out that Dagda is his dad. So he goes to him and asks for some land. Now, the land is basically fairy forts are being divided out. At the time,
yeah,
to different people. They're called Scythians.
Yeah,
but they're all gone, and poor Angus doesn't have one. He can sit and swivel on it. So Dagda tells Angus to what he's meant to do is so either he tells him to do this or he goes and does it himself. Yeah. But he goes up to the fort of none other than Elkmar.
Oh,
and he goes to him, give us a go off your fort there for night and day. Which is very similar to saying for a night and a day.
Yeah.
And he agrees to this, and he's tricked out of his house.
He's got him in the small print.
Yeah. Now, he could have done this to anyone.
But he did it to his cooked.
Yeah.
I don't know what the relationship is. His step cook.
Yeah. He's right-hand man.
Yeah.
Who he's never told this to.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was the son went and did it.
Well, so that it's either the son does it, or so it's either
else he sends him to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So either he does it and he's himself does it, or he sends the man's fake son that he never knew about, whatever. But yeah, unnecessary.
Elkmar.
There's other lads around to take forts off of.
Yeah, but also, what if someone was like, "Can I have your house for a night and day?" You wouldn't say yes.
I would just be like, say 2 days.
Okay. 2 days Dannon.
2 days Dannon. Do you think he was just trying to pay less on the Airbnb? He's like, well, it's only one night still. I just
Yeah.
need it for a few. It's basically just luggage storage.
What time is checkout? 9 o'clock tomorrow night.
Will you just mind my stuff when I
Yeah.
walk around the fort here for a bit?
I know you've got another bucket in, but be sound.
But now, some say they duelled first.
Okay.
And this was the offer to Elkmar to save his life afterwards. That he'd give
Right.
up. Which also doesn't make it any better. That he's like...
Yeah, you just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but Dagda, eventually then, he just gives him another fort to keep Elkmar happy.
Why didn't you just give that one to Angus?
Exactly. I'm starting to think Dagda's not so wise.
No.
Or he's very wise and just a bit bored.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
He's putting an awful lot of time and effort into like banging his friends' wives and changing time and space to do that.
Yeah.
No,
but
not a lot of
that's
time
what
left.
keeps you. That's what keeps you on top. Like
Yeah.
John Terry or Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's the risk you need. You need to be a wild man.
Yeah.
But see, in even in mythological terms, Irish landlords were booting you out of your home so that your kids could move in.
Yeah.
Where did they get this idea from?
Yeah.
But this new gaff was New Grange, by the way,
Okay.
or one of the forts around it.
Sure.
Right, but that's part 1 of episode 1.
Okay.
But now the wooing of Étaín, part 1.
Okay.
Meter,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, as we go through, just keep asking about names because it's going to get.
Meter adopted Angus.
Yeah, he's Dagda's brother,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So Meter goes up to visit Angus one day, and all the young lads are playing hurling
Yeah.
beside hazel trees
Sure.
because he gets hit in the eye with some hazel.
Right.
Yeah. So the Tua doctor patches him up. Meter wants compensation from Angus because he doesn't have a medical card. So among other things that he does give him, he wants the most beautiful woman in Ireland.
Right.
Right.
So this is his stepdad.
Yeah. He went up to visit Angus. He gets hit in the eye and he's like, Angus, I was coming to visit you. Like,
Where there's
fucking-
blame, there's a claim. I've been done wrong here.
it's on your property.
Yeah. Yeah, just walking into trees as soon as he gets in the door. Ah, fuck, that's my seeing eye. I need that. I'm gonna need you to find me a woman. Your mother's
the most beautiful one in Ireland, but also who'll take half blind men.
yeah. Your mother's left me again. What sort of a lunatic is this guy then?
He's great crack.
Is he? Yeah. Yeah.
So it is a little bit awkward,
Yeah.
but in short, he goes up to visit his foster son and comes. I guess the reason he's asked for that is because he's come across this girl called Étaín.
Right.
She's from
He's trying to eat in her.
she's from the Ulster cycle.
I know. I've been reading a little book called The Game. Step 1, blind myself with a hazel tree. Step 2,
Set yourself apart. Make yourself a little. You don't look like everyone else.
No.
Why you get a funny hat when you can blind yourself?
I read somewhere that people like hazel eyes, so I'm sticking a hazel tree in there, and then I'll get my foster son to go find this woman for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
This is foolproof. Really.
she's from the Ulster cycle,
Yeah.
which means up north they'd call her a 10 out of 10. She's the daughter of Alil, king of the Ulaid.
Yeah.
I think that's the human race of people in the north.
The Uleds.
Yeah, I call them Catholics, but it's a different
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
back
yeah.
then. But she's the daughter of Alil.
Yeah.
For his daughter's hand in marriage,
Yeah.
Alil demands lots. He wants lands levelled, the rivers diverted, her weight in gold, and other things on top. But young Angus is able to sort all of that. So it's pretty high demands, big dowry going.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Étaín means passion or jealousy or a fair woman. Should sort those meanings out.
Yeah.
But-
that's all right.
But that name would make sense because when Meter rocks up with young Étaín, his wife Fumnock,
Yeah.
more like fuming, because she's not one bit pleased. She's very unhappy.
Okay. Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
just try.
Just chance your arm.
Yeah,
So he's set his foster son off in this quest.
got your one. Étaín.
Yeah. And
Then
he's
just-
well, the wife will figure it eventually.
She's because
Right. You might think it's bad for her to find out as you walk in.
you said
with
you
your
wanted it to get spicier. We've been
did.
married for years.
Well, it's not as if she's going to be happy when you break up with her anyway. You may as well just get it all done at once. She's going to be sad when you break up with her and sad when she finds out you have a new wife. Why put her through the pain twice? Just do it all at once. Bring the new wife in the door. Make it easy on her.
Synergy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually the name of my next mistress.
But so Fumnock.
Yeah.
Now she's not too happy.
No.
Not that she shows it at first. She lets it all build up. She's like, I'll just wait.
Yeah.
He's like, I think this is all right. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And then 4 months down the line, he's 5 minutes home late for dinner. And typical.
Yeah.
She welcomes young Étaín in. Right?
Right.
And then, what with her being a witch and all, she turns her into a pool of water. But over time, Étaín changes from a pool to a worm to eventually a fly, and then she flies her way back to meet her, lands on him, and he knows exactly who she is. It's love, Kevin. Love.
Yeah.
Right? Then his wife creates a storm
Yeah.
and blows Étaín 7 years away from meter.
Okay.
So she wouldn't, but she wouldn't let that stop their love.
Yeah.
So she battles the winds 7 years, kind of like the Lear swans.
Sure.
And finds her way back to her true love once more. And this time she's properly exhausted. But he builds a place for her, a little refuge, so she can rest and recuperate.
As a fly.
As a fly. So
Right.
it's a very little tiny refuge.
Yeah.
She's got
It's
there.
a matchbox, basically.
Yeah. And then Fumnock finds out about this. So she separately tells Meader and Angus to travel to see her somewhere, to squash this beef.
Yeah.
Right. But instead, she's going to squash that fly. She sneaks in, finds Étaín, does another 7-year storm.
Yeah.
And then Étaín ends up in Ulster, where she falls into the cup of the wife of a great warrior called Étaín, the wife drinks.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to say whatever's in it. I want to say it's wine.
Yeah.
It's probably wine.
Sure.
Becomes pregnant.
Right.
Étaín then reborn 1,012 years after her original birth. Étaín didn't believe a word of this.
Hold on. What the fuck are you talking about?
This is only the first of 4 stories
This is
that are all interconnected.
unintelligible.
Yeah.
What? So she blew a fly away. Were they still married?
So they were still married.
Right.
Yeah.
But anytime a fly came into the house, she was like, "You fucking prick!
Yeah.
How dare you!"
Summer was very tough.
Yeah. And right, so she blows her away, and the second time she blows her away, she lands in someone's cup, who drinks
The liquid.
and the fly.
And the fly gets
I
pregnant
don't know why.
with the fly.
Yeah, and
Has
Jeff
1200 comes out
years later.
1,000 years later.
And she's like, "You won't believe what happened to me."
Yeah.
Right.
Right. But now Étaín, the husband, the
Yeah.
warrior, right? He's not a gobshite like old.
Who the fuck's Étaín?
Étair's the husband of the woman who's drank the fly.
And what's her name? Étaín.
No, Étain's the fly. The woman who
Right.
drank it, no name. Couldn't find it.
Sure. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
just-
Étair's the warrior.
Yeah, Étair's the warrior, and they're not that important. They're just the parents. They have a kid,
Yeah.
right? Étair at first doesn't believe a word of this. It's before Jesus, so you don't have like anything to point towards to be like
He doesn't
an
believe-
immaculate conception.
Right.
He's like, you've definitely rolled someone.
Why is he not? They're not fucking.
It probably came out as a fly.
Yeah. It's just a gardener buzzing outside. Oh.
But yeah,
God.
so
Jeff Goldblum out in the garden. Because like when you're a kid, you think Jeff Goldblum's the hero of Jurassic Park, and you watch it again as an adult, and he's just a sleazy piece of shit who spends the entire time trying to bang, what's his name's wife.
like if there's one thing the history of evolution's taught us is that life will not be contained. Life breaks free. It expands to new territories and crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously. But, I wrote your wife. So they raise her anyway.
Your wife thinks you're gay.
But so Étaín and his wife raise her.
Right.
Nobody obviously knows about her past. They just think it's their kid, I guess.
What? Yeah, okay, whatever. All right.
Yeah. So at first Étair's like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, yeah. That's definitely my kid.
Nice.
Yeah. But now, Fumnock, pretty pleased with herself.
Yeah.
Getting rid of Étaín, right? But it didn't last for too long because Angus, remember him?
Vaguely.
Yeah. The son, right, of Dagda.
No, I don't.
Yeah. He hunts her down and cuts his stepmother's head off.
Right.
Because some say that he was in love with Étaín, because most men were. She was gorgeous. Or also just it was technically his new
stepmother.
Or just, why you been such a bitch? Yeah. And so he goes and beheads her.
Right.
Right? Now, a few years pass. The High King of Ireland, Iarchu Éireann, he took over from his brother Iarchu Fídlach, father of Queen Maeve.
Okay.
When he died, right? So the other brother, two Iarchus, right? He's on the lookout for a queen. The Iarchus. But he's on the lookout for a queen because he's after inviting all the big cool lads, high kings and everyone, the warriors and the whatever around the country to a big party he's having at the Hill of Tara. But they don't want to go because how could you go to a party with a man who doesn't have a wife? All the men are like, no, we want to go to. We all have to bring our wives.
Sort of
we all have to bring
party of bachelors. What would one even do?
But yeah, so he's on the lookout now,
and he's going to try and bang a fly.
Well, now she's been born. She's just a beautiful woman,
right?
Or at least legal, at least.
By which I mean she's born.
And yeah, so it's going to be part 2.
Right.
It's going to have a lot of that.
The lads won't come over unless I get myself a wife.
But now I suppose what you've got is 2 to 3 men out there who have some form of love or affection for Étaín.
Right.
Yeah. So you've got Angus.
Yeah.
Is his stepdad.
Sure.
And which is also his uncle. Uncle.
Neither.
And then this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So everyone's fighting for Étaín.
Technically. Okay.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that situation. Is that insensitive?
No, it was pretty good.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? I don't understand what's going on. Where was the start of the story? Dagda has a son.
Dagda has...
Who's a secret man called Angus.
Real quick.
I've got...
Dagda, right? Yeah. King of everything. Lord of whatever.
Yeah.
Has a right-hand man. His right-hand man's wife.
Yeah. Elkmar.
Yeah. And his wife... Boyne wants to ride Dagda, does so. They have a kid. Now, Elkmar doesn't find out about it.
No.
Angus is then raised by Meader, which is Dagda's brother.
Yeah. Uncle Meader.
Yeah, who then wants to leave his wife.
But in the worst way possible.
Yeah, for Étaín.
Yeah.
And then we have all of that with Fumnock sending her away.
All the whatever.
Back and forth. Yeah. And then Angus isn't happy, so he kills Fumnock. And now Meader doesn't have Étaín or the wife.
Wow, bloody... Who saw this coming?
Yeah. So that's where we're at with that.
And then, she was rebirthed from a fly to a woman who's 1,000 years after her original birth.
Yes.
Okay. And the king of Tara,
and now the new king,
one of the Yakuza,
he wants
to bang her.
Yeah,
just so that he can invite the lads over
for a big party.
It's because they don't want to hang out with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you want to know how Iarchu Fídlach died, the brother of that new king.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that bit is going to be on the Patreon, so you can go find the link for that in the description of this episode and find out what happened to Iarchu Fídlach. And that's the end of part 1 of the story. We'll have part 2 and part 3 out later on this week. Good luck.